All right, welcome H Radio 123 part-timers to another lesson. Please excuse the water, as you know, otherwise I'm gonna still keep coughing. It's never ending. Welcome to this is the it's the full. If we at our lesson, where are we now? We're lesson 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 3 weeks of theory lessons left, and then we're going to have one obviously revision lesson. When I say revision, we're going to be looking at the S1, all questions, whatever it is, uh, before you do submit, and then I am hopefully going to see you next year for H Radio 223. Right. So I really hope that you are doing well and that you are progressing well. If there are any questions, just once again, just WhatsApp me directly. That's the best way, I think, of just contacting me, and I will get back to you as you do know. These two lessons are this one in particular is quite short. I say this only because it's an application of what you have learned already in the previous one, which is obviously creating the running um obviously the show prep and what I want to do today with this particular lesson is show you my prep, like just one of the shows that I recently prepped. I don't know, maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Show you the simplicity of the show itself as well, and I explain why certain elements are the way that they are, and why they need to be described, and why they are time stamped the way that they are. And again, what I said to you before is that our approach as broadcasters to creating prep is a hybrid. It's a hybrid structure. So in other words, we create content, I say content prep or show prep according to what makes us feel comfortable. But there is obviously the mandatory stuff. So obviously, putting in the times, putting things in order, making things clear. If you have any part numbers, like for example, for any voices or voice notes or sound bites, whatever it is, make sure that they are obviously clearly indicated. And it depends on obviously if you are loading it to the system, like the actual playback system, or you're playing it on a separate computer, and you need to know, obviously the name of that particular labeled audio piece, and where you're going to play it, that type of stuff, right? Also, just details on people that you're going to chat to, their phone numbers, if they are going to be on the phone, if they are going to be in studio, just things like that, right? Okay. So, and then I'm going to play you one video, um, as we always do, and that's what I'm saying. This particular lecture is going to be quite short. Okay, H Radio 123, part-timers, practical programming, and making content work for you. Part 4 of 8 comes out of Nash and Cullinan's Next Level Radio book, Chapter 4, 138 to 146, 4.2.4 show preparation plan to insert the character. Right. Okay. So it is again just some revision of where with the stuff that we might have seen before here with the P2 listener, and again with the planning. And as you can see as we move along, these of these links, one obviously we've had a look at before. I'm saying have been supplied to you, right? In terms of the running order, we've seen the running order before as well. We've seen this kind of like the order template show runner in the beginning. But these two, let's quickly chat about these particular two slides here. Right, so every character, so that's you, right? So again, I think I mentioned this before. We talked about character map will help align a content or the content piece with a presenter's character. Excuse me. So what does that mean? It means that, in other words, that like you as a personality will be, yes, your interests are going to show differently on, on the show itself and what you include and who you talk to and whatever it may be. But also, again, the extension of how we talk about everything and anything at any one particular time must be catered around your capabilities. Well, first and foremost, your personality definitely your line of sight in terms of what you view the world around you as like the questions that really um the way that you conversate actually with another person as well. Again, your ethics go in there as well, your morals go in there as well. Everything that has to do about you is going to be influenced or affecting the content that you are actually putting out on air, right? In agreement, I'm sure you're in agreement, and you can understand that. So, for example, if we are talking about, once again, I'm going to bring up the things that are topical right now, which is the elections coming up in 3 weeks' time or so. You might be someone that has very strong views about, let's say, political parties that are, over sensationalizing their promises to a public, like I say, like the South African public, and you might want to interview specifically, representatives, maybe PR representatives, or the actual, party leaders, and approach them quite directly and say, like, there's just, let's just go through the past, just the very last rally that you ran at whatever FNB Stadium, whatever it may be, and you said this and this and this. And if look, we've done our research. Let's go back to, this particular year, this particular month, this particular action, this particular day. This is what the reaction was. This is what you said back then. Why have you changed your views? Or why is it that you sound like two different types of people, or whatever it is? Like, so personally, that would be my, let's say, my approach to it, because it's not that I find politics a complete farce. I mean, we know that politics are just large amounts of sensationalized entertainment, and we understand. None of us are blind to what, a politician will, or political party will be selling us. We get that, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's best for us as journalists as well, investigative journalists, as we are broadcasters, to be able to get further than beyond just the truth. Okay, so not having just someone up there in the studio and just being like, oh, okay, well, let's talk about your manifesto. Let's talk about like what you're promising South Africa again for the 14th millionth time, or what you're copying from another party, or what you are claiming for. Yeah, man, the stuff is. It's just it for me. It goes nowhere, right? But you might want to actually talk about, let's say, communal service, community service, and maybe the ineffectiveness of a particular promise that was made to a particular uh, part of our South African community. So maybe, let's say, a lower class, let's say brown people, right? And RDP housing, or for example, jobs, or for example, let's say, grants, or whatever it may be, that looked lovely, wonderful in, um, obviously on paper and in the press releases and the news, whatever it is. But looking at, like a timeline, for example, from that particular first month up to the last month that just happened, and getting some stats and facts that you'd like them to actually explain what is going on, right? Again, so you can talk about that, or you can talk about like maybe a new manifesto or new parties. You can talk to new parties that you would like to showcase. Well, you can't showcase, you can't show sort of favoritism, man. Being subjective, you've got to give everyone an equal chance. I'm saying to you, free and fair, right? So when we are talking about like especially elections, not particular parties in general. We can talk to a party at any one particular point in our lives on air. But you do understand, right? It's going to be a reflection of what it is that you want to put a spin on, an angle on, that is interesting, obviously, is to you, but you know your listener, right? But your character is definitely going to influence a lot of that execution. Here are 5 other ways of inserting your personality and characterization into music radio links. You can own the music information, tell them more about, like I say, the different songs that are being played, the artists that you're going to feature, that type of stuff, information elements. So being able to make sure that you give them facts, that type of stuff, facts, information, education, right? So educational information, entertainment, whatever it may be, entertainment news, doesn't matter, right? Anything that is useful or interesting to a listener, right? Welcome and shake hands with the listener. In other words, create a connection. create a connection, talk to them, take phone calls, make lifestyle comments, that type of stuff. That definitely will showcase. It'll amplify many opportunities for you to go and like let's say and show who you are. You'll just automatically, if you are comfortable in that studio and you're comfortable on air and you're comfortable behind that mic, like it's just gonna come through. It's gonna seep through. You're not gonna be able to help it, man. You're not gonna resist, but sound exactly as the best amplified version of yourself. Why the best amplified version? Well, because you're in entertainment, and you need to speak. I say I say broader, louder, further than just speaking to your friend, whatever it is. You are an amplified version of yourself. And what is a P2 listener? I think we have covered this again before, but just as a recap, remember the P2 listener is the one, is the type of listener that we are actually targeting in comparison to the P1, who we know is dedicated, loyal, listens only to that station, etc., etc. The P2 listener is a prospective listener that can dedicate fully their time or their loyalty to our station, but they are busy sampling other stations at the same time. They're listening to two or three other radio stations. So what we do is we cater to them and make sure that when they are listening to us specifically at one given time, so maybe they like a specific show, or they like a specific host, or they like a specific like a countdown or a speciality show or whatever it may be, right? So they put it into their lifestyle schedule, right? We want to make sure that we entertain them enough. We obviously satisfy them enough to note that they would like to come back for a little bit more, because those other radio stations are going to disappoint them at one or other time, and that you'd like them to actually then use you as the go-to choice all the time until obviously the gradual process and the move is fully focused and directed to your station in particular. So what do we do to get these P2 listeners like on our side, right? Front load every link creatively. So, again, just like really, really push that link obviously in the approach of brevity, right? Um, tease it properly, hook it properly, that type of stuff, right? Front load every link creatively, really capture their attention, right? Let the audience get to know you, obviously, as we move along and as the show moves along, every segment moves along. There, you have to put in elements of you, right? Because otherwise, it's just a robot on the other side, just talking to anyone that is no one, right? Because they have no like that particular broadcaster doesn't have a sense or a cognizant sense of, or a sense even makes sense, right? Of someone that might be listening on the other side. They're just talking, blah, 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 yakety schmackety, yak, 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 right? So let the audience get to know you. Take callers, put people's voices on that are not your own, right? It could be, like I say, callers. It could be an interview. It could be voice notes. It could be sound bites. Anything that adds dimension and adds a little bit of, like I say, color and depth and, like I say, richness. As I always say, the same things. These same kind of like descriptive words or terminologies, whatever it is, right? Develop story arcs. So check out the, you can have long running stories or long running segments, right? Day one you do this, day one, day two you do this, day three you do this, or week one you do this, week two, week three, week four, right? So that they have reasons to, like they do with a TV show, man. They want to see where the story is going, what happens to the characters, like, oh, that's surprising, or this is going to be cool, or I love to see how it ends, right? So developing story arcs really important. Like I say, tease. So again, tease effectively and always contextualize so that that particular listener knows what it is that you're talking about at any one particular time, right? Okay, and why it is that you're talking about it and why it's important to them. Okay, so as I said there, just with the elections in general, like you can talk about so many different things, but what is it? What's important to a 702 listener? What's important to a like a more trading listener or a vowel listener, or a BMH listener, or a tax listener, or a 919 listener, or whatever it may be, right? Like, what is it? We understand. So you come through a long process here. You understand your composite listener profiles. You understand the listener. You know their lifestyle. We've looked at RAMs. We know that stuff. We look. We understand that listener. We know exactly what they want. We know what they want to hear. We know what's important to them. So we can contextualize. Always give them like tell them why it is that you are talking about this or this person or to this person at this particular point in your show. Okay, so as we said there, there are those, obviously the breakdowns that you have seen before. I am just going to quickly just stop the share over there. Where did I want to go first to next? I think I lined up it was. Oh, I don't know. I was there. Here we go. Just give me a second. Oh man, which was the one that I actually picked? Give me a second. But stuck there. Okay, so I thought would be great. At first, I thought, let's talk about a radio feature. We can talk about that in the next. We are going to talk about that in the next next. Right. Just give it a second. Right. In the next lesson.
I'm Dan O'Day. Almost everyone in radio agrees on the value of localization, but I disagree with the way some programmers define local. Once I witnessed a graphic, ghastly presentation of this misguided definition at a station staff meeting. The program director was addressing his troops, who sat nervously as the PD picked up a marking pen and purposefully approached a whiteboard. The PD drew a large circle on the board, pointed to it, and announced to the staff, "This," indicating the interior of the circle, "is our total service area. This is where our audience lives. If something happens inside this circle, you can talk about it on the air. If it happens outside the circle, you may not talk about it because we are a local radio station." That particular program director defined local as occurring within our market. With all due respect, the guy was misguided. Local means anything that is of interest to your listeners. Here, I'll give you an example that I experienced more directly. For 15 years, I wrote and published a radio comedy service called O-Liners. One of the regular features of this service was our O-Calendar, which featured interesting offbeat items that happened on this day in history. One day, I received a phone call from a subscriber in Texas complaining about a calendar item that had appeared in that month's issue. The item concerned an event that had occurred in Massachusetts in 1919. A factory exploded. It was a molasses factory, and an entire community was swept away in a 2.3 million gallon, 30-foot tidal wave of molasses. What a striking image that creates in the listener's mind. Well, this program director was upset. As he put it, people in Texas don't care about something that happened in Massachusetts. I think he missed the point. I wasn't offended that he dared to criticize something I had published. I realized that not every item I printed was right for every subscriber. In fact, if you subscribe to any kind of show prep service and you can use as much as 20% of each issue, you're getting real value for your money. But if this guy couldn't use the image of 2.3 million gallons in a 30-foot tidal wave of molasses to create a vibrant, compelling image in his listeners' minds, then I had to wonder if he really had chosen the right profession. Local is anything that is of interest to your listeners. If your listeners already are talking about it, or if you can talk about it in a way that interests and involves them, then it's local. If you could talk about it at the corner bar or at the dinner table or around the coffee machine at work, It's local. We all live in one huge global community. Not everything that happens within that community is local. Neither is everything that happens within your primary coverage area or your total service area. But if you can present a topic, any topic, in a manner that causes your audience to listen, then it's local. If they care, or if you can make them care, it's local. I'm Dan O'Day. DanO'Day.com.
DanO'Day.com. Just as again, just a bit of background on Dan O'Day. He's a prep service. So what you do is you sign up to the prep service, and might actually play you another. I might actually play another video just to explain prep services because I did see one that was over here. What does a prep service do? What you subscribe to them, or you pay them, like let's say a monthly fee or whatever it is, and they'll send you prep ideas for your show every single day. It's again, I obviously have I think I've mentioned this before. I have obviously a problem with that because just it's kind of lazy programming just from a like a program like a what was saying a broadcaster's point of view. Right, where you should be actually just doing your own, like you need to be doing your own work. But and let's be fair, okay? I know you're gonna say to me, "Oh, but you go to the net and you go and prep from there, whatever it is." But that's just not true. Like Dan O'Day doesn't understand your audience. I'll show you another one actually while we are here. There was another one here. No, it wasn't that one here. It was here, sort of here. Let me show. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I want you to see uh this over here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Watch this dude.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, and coming up on this video, I've got some free the hobby. Maybe you run a internet radio station, hospital radio, community, or even land-based, and you're a bit short of the money, then stay tuned to this video because I've got some sources where you can get free radio prep. Yes, won't cost you anything whatsoever. Oh, by the way,
Sorry, I just want to laugh because I mean, welcome in that selling free radio. You don't have to do anything.
please like this video, give it a thumbs up if you can, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, then please do. Right, here we go then. Some free radio prep. So the first free show prep site I'm going to show you is thebullsheet.com. Yes, thebullsheet.com. It's a prep site in America, and you can actually subscribe to this, but they have a great backlog of the prep that they've ever done. So, for example, if I am recording this on Monday, the 18th of May, if I want to go to May, and I'm looking for the 19th, let me go for the 19th of May. If I go there, they've got 2017. I click on there, and there you'll see back in 2017, it was a Friday, May the 19th. Besides all the music notes, which may not be of any use right now, but they do have all the information below, i.e. the birthdays, celebrity birthdays, reasons to party, specific days that it is. As well as that, they've got bull bits from back in the day. They've got phone starters, complete this sentence. Some of it may be a bit Americanized as not UK, but they've got random jokes in there, questions, which is like an impossible question. 60% of us judge others by this. What is it? Open up the phone lines. It's a type of, and there you go, American, you see cell phone, where we use the mobile phones that they use. Deep thought of the day. They've got loads of prep from back in the day. It is thebullsheet.com. That's thebullsheet.com. And the second of our free prep radio sites is interprep.com. That's interprep.com. There you can get the next issue, and it's all free. You get a sample issue every single day. There is a premium radio service, which you can pay there. But if you want the free issue, just click, and then you'll just add to put your email in there. Just add your email, type your emails, and subscribe, and you will get it into your box every single day. This is this video recorded on May the 18th. This is the day's prep. And there you go, 1 year older, news attack, a woman in Kentucky gave birth in a hospital parking lot. That's some serious social distancing, because when this video has been recorded, it is the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So there's all sorts of stories there. Some you can use, some you might not, but it may give you some ways of setting out your prep for you and giving you some ideas. So interprep.com is our second free prep site. And before I give you website number 3, just let me ask you once again, if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, then please do. If you want to give me a thumbs up for this video, I would appreciate that. And don't forget to hit that bell notification, so every time I upload a video, then you'll be informed via the email. Right, website number 3 of our free websites for radio prep. It is run by a friend of mine by the name of Neil Cossa. It's called thisdayinmusic.com, and as it says, This Day Music. You can do a search if you want to do some prep ahead. Then this video recorded on May the 18th. Going to go with May the 19th, and have a look here. You'll see exactly what prep you can do. It'll give you all the information you need. There we go. The Beatles, 1967. Paul Simon, 1973. Dire Straits released the first major label single, Sultans of Swing, recorded on a £120 budget. So if you're going to be playing the Sultans of Swing, there you go, a facts for you. There's also Born on This Day. On this day, liner notes, quizzes, anagrams, my first job. Let's have a quick look at that. My first job, it'll tell you American male singers. So some great quiz questions you can set up here. My first job. Let's have a quick look. Famous artists and their first ever jobs. We've got Eminem. We've got Frank Sinatra. Let me have a quick look. Click to. It was a cook. Well, I never knew that. So there you go. Some fascinating facts. Thisdayinmusic.com. It's our free prep website, and it's number 3. Website number 4, described by a radio guru as the best prep site in the world ever. It is dailymail.co.uk. Now, Daily Mail, the Mail Online, British newspaper, their website is brilliant. If you can have a look here along the top, we've got sport, we've got TV and showbiz, we've got news from Australia. Female is always a good page on the website if you're targeting the female artists as part of your prep. All sorts of things going on there. And we've got health, so if you're looking for health, it is basically bigger than the newspaper. It is, in my opinion as well, the best prep site in the world. Website number 4, it is the Mail Online, dailymail.co.uk. And finally, the website for free prep, it's another newspaper. This is metro.co.uk. News, but not as you know it. The free newspaper, which you can get in the UK, is just a brilliant source of prep, and the website is no exception, even better than the paper. You get the news, you get sport, you get entertainment, you get soaps, lifestyle platform, weird news stories from around the world. There's the latest news here, honey stealing cow. Cow chasing bears 9 months on the run comes to an end, and we won't go into that one right now, but you know what I mean. It is the brilliant website. It is metro.co.uk. As I say, we've got everything you need for your free radio prep there. So there you have it. That's my video for free radio prep. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, well, I have to play the whole thing. Interesting. All right. Well, I did. I mean, I don't mind. Like I say, the Mail Online one, because I mean, it's a news site. At the end of the day, it's not really a prep site. But okay. All right. Hey, you know what? When you're starting out, why not? You know, I know that I did that when I was at Tux. I specifically subscribed to Dan O'Day, but here was my problem with that is that all of us at the station who found out about Dano Day and we all had the same prep. And then for about a week or so, we all had the same things going out on air. We just didn't listen to each other. But the station manager did and was like, what are you all doing? That's genuinely why. Like, it's not a good idea to follow prep, like I say, prep sites and stuff, just because of the fact that if you do approach, obviously, you're showing a very one-dimensional, what I get is what I'm going to give, that type of thing, then like there's going to be so many other people that all are also kind of linear in terms of their approach of programming or prepping programming, and you're going to sound exactly the same and not going to sound fresh at all. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take you through. What I want to do is I want to take you through one of the shows here quickly just to show you. Um, where did I put that one? Somewhere. There it is. There. Okay. So um, so here's the prep sheet for I don't know. It was one of the shows that I did a while back. It says 42. So um, the 909 Sunday Revolution show prep number 42 with Chris and Kanye. All right, so then what I do is obviously I do the timestamps as you can see. Yeah, 11. So I'm allowed four links an hour. One, two, three, four. Yeah, that's right. So there'll be a 15 past, 25 past. There'll be, I'll show you like a 40 past and a 55 minutes past. And we have the news, obviously the news taken care by our obviously news reader, right? Okay, and then what I do as instructed, a lot of the stuff is instructed by the program manager, the station manager herself, will say that you have to, when you do open up, like there's got to be something it's got to be very quick. It's got to be, so I normally put the same thing in here. I say 11:15 opener, throw forward to the music and some kind of like, so normally what I do is I throw forward to this feature over here where it is a music oriented feature, nice and simple for a Sunday. Remember, I am catering for a Sunday audience on a psychographic that is positive. Please remember that the station is about that, right? So, okay, so throw forward to the music. Remind people of the socials on X, Instagram, TikTok at I feel 919. And then what I normally do, because I prep far in advance, like today is a Wednesday, and I would prep today for upcoming show on Sunday, with obviously, let's say setting up interviews throughout the week. I'll obviously pre-interview, and I will do the sound bites, and I'll go and get boxes and that type of stuff, for the rest of the week, just so that I know what I'm doing. I'm not one of those people that prep like in the morning or day to day, because the show is not day to day. I'm saying to you, right? The day before, should I say? Okay, I want to be well prepared. All right, so then what I normally do is also add a bit of an anecdote, somewhere here, which is really important. Only actually, what I do is I normally print out the prep and then I go and make some notes as to what it is that I feel I want to talk about today, making sure that it is a very short link and entertaining link. Remember also that there's two people speaking over here. All right, at 11:25, it's something about something triple play. Right, so cool. Like I said, nice little name for the triple play. A nice way to kind of reinvent the triple play. So we pick any one particular thing, a random. So this one we pick Power. The songs that we're going to play is Little Mix, Power, Katy Perry, Roar, Destiny's Child, Independent Woman Part One. Um, which fits these, it must be on the station's playlist, in other words in the library, right? So that I know that I'm not going to get in trouble with the, again, with management, because I'm playing something that's out of context, right? If I do anyway, I'm going to have to go and get it approved by the manager, which is a big schlep, at the end of the day. And also it shows a little bit of for me at a certain time, if I'm mailing every single week, oh, can I play this song there, can I play that song, whatever it is, it's a bit annoying, and it's a bit also like it shows a little bit of a doubt within yourself as well, and incompetence at the end of the day. What I did want to include as part of, so I play the songs because it's a song, it's a triple play. So I can actually do a link directly actually afterwards, and I can speak about these are the five top books or top suggestions, right? About power, right? That you can actually go and find and download the audiobook or whatever it is, you know, so I kind of spin the content just a little bit, and people don't know this. I don't know this. No one knows. No one knows these particular ones. You can always go look up the top Amazon books or the top this, whatever it is. But this was generated for me, and I asked the correct question. So all of them are different. Like the Power of One, redefining individual influence in a connected world, empowering versus entitlement, navigating the fine line of individual power, unleashing your inner maverick, embracing individuality as a source of power, the power of choice, how deciding decision making makes and shapes your lives. And from consumer to creator, harnessing individual power in the digital age. All these different books, great books, or great audio books, whatever it is, that and have to do with many different aspects of your life, right? That I add on as added value, right? So, voices of voices or voxes. Ideally, what I didn't do is I didn't ask for voice notes. What I did is I went out and I said words association. What comes immediately to mind when I say the word power to you? And then people responded to. I did also open up the lines if there were any lines, any SMSs or messages sent via WhatsApp. And then what I do is I just highlight play the boxes, right? And end that. So it's quite short. Again, there's a very short clip here by Dr. Tasha Eurich dealing with delusional people. So people that think that they have power, but they really actually don't. Right. So a nice way to just kind of have a full-bodied, rounded, well-rounded. It looks kind of busy, but it actually isn't. Because of the way that obviously I execute it nice and simple. And again, in good segments that go from one to another. 11:55, a good teaser is always necessary. What's coming up next? Well, I tease the hashtag I feel fine feature at 12 is news. At 10 past 12, we're going to have Leo Love. She is what is I feel fine. So I say this is what I always say in the beginning of the feature that we run every week, right? But I will say it in a fresh new way, so that isn't so we don't repeat ourselves like as a carbon copy. Hashtag I feel fine is all about touching base with youth-centered issues, what relate that relate, should I say, and are relevant to all of us. But you might have a younger brother or sister, friend, or definitely were once in your 20s or 30s where life is on a new frontier of self exploration and unfamiliarity. Leo Love is our weekly youth correspondent who speaks for the youth. She's 25 years old. She's very claimed woke, she's woke, intentionally curious, and that's in her exploration of the world around her. She also has a podcast bi-weekly called Imagine with Leo. Go follow it on Instagram, TikTok. Podcast is found on Iona and Spotify. This week we're talking about poor property management, and I would contextualize why. Right? I would contextualize why. So what I do is obviously I get Leo. She goes in and we try and synchronize what she's done on the podcast and synchronize it to conversations that we do have on air. And so she did go and chat to a particular, which I also included actually a bit later. I included in the second link over here. I actually included. I spoke to a trustee. Uh, did that happen? I spoke to a trustee of I think it was no, Ntokeso was his name, right? He's been a trustee um and actually at her complex for many, many years. So really gave us a lot of really useful information within 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, somewhere around there, as a nice break to the conversations that the three of us are having around poor property management. I would again start off with these. So I have the basic. Obviously, I've pre-prepped. In other words, I've spoken to Leo beforehand. I've told this is what I need you to go do for me. This is the person that I need you to organize for us so that we can have a good dimension in the show as well. And then I ask, obviously, like pertinent questions that are important to like my audience. So give us a breakdown first on what you found to be the breakdown of community living, living at a complex where you either rent or own a piece of property. And so all the various components, boards, like give us just a roundabout so that we understand, right? Because a lot of people, including myself, really, because you don't really, ah, man, you live in a complex. You know what you know. You need, obviously, you speak to the people that you need to speak to, but you don't know. Like when, there's so many things that do come up that then you don't know the process, the boards, the obviously you got to go look at your contract once again or your lease agreement, whatever it may be. Anyway, so a nice little intro there for just putting us into context. How are tenant complaints actually handled and then actually resolved? And if you choose to face off with another tenant, what happens? Let's talk rental rates. How are they determined? What is the process of terminating a property management agreement? What about tenants that refuse to pay their rent? What should you be paying for as a tenant? And what should you not be paying? So these questions are split up over the hour. That's why I say interviewer and closer. 12:25, 12:55, should say, is a teaser once again to the next. Right, the next, very easy. This is a nice light call out. So there of the news. The call out is if you had one day to do what you want without rules, no, and obviously no repercussions. So you can't be blamed for it or held accountable for it the next day or whatever it may be. What would you do? And this is because me and Fanny were having a conversation with one about one of her favorite movie series, which is The Purge, right? Very old, saying it was released in 2017 and they did another four movies or whatever it is. Um, but again, it's about a little bit of fun, right? And this is obviously just a premise for me. I don't go mention it on air, but I might use it in within context when we do actually talk about and play those voice notes that we have asked for over here. Ideally, what we would do is to say 084, sorry, Indians 084 2212 SMS or SMS text, sorry, text or send us a voice note. Okay, voice note telling us what it is that you would do. Because the thing is that most people would break, obviously, everyone would break the law. Like, that's just the thing. And then it would be chaos. And there would be, I mean, like, a simple example here is like if you have a car accident, like with someone, you would just drive away. You wouldn't give them your details. You were like, whatever, man, this is my day. It's my day. But we changed the call out specifically to be only you. It only you could break all the rules, and only you will not be held accountable. So everyone has to abide by everything else. And so we made it a little bit more interesting because we knew like the predictive thing, yeah, it's going to be everyone's just going to it's just going to be chaos. So it's going to be boring. So then what I did is I had a YouTube piece of like a mother and father actually asking their kids what they would do if there were no rules. So like if the parents were not giving the rules, okay? And it was very cute. It was very nice. And again, radio friendly for what a positive station, right? So no groundbreaking radio here. I'm saying within this particular piece, but entertaining radio. Talk about the Purge movie. Play the voice notes. Play some more voice notes. And when I say play voice notes, feel like two responses, and then do like I say a bit of a teaser to the next hour, which is the last hour which we focus on the Sunday Revolution Evolution session with DJ Grant. And this is the same every week. I'm saying the precursor for this is always the same every week. So where's introduce Grant to say that he does a mix for us every single week, and it's really great. It's old school. It's like it's Afro pop, tube pop, or whatever it is, but also because we are a station of positivity, etc., etc. Like the great reason why Grant is featured and why we love to have him on the show is that in the Westbury community, he has been helping out since he could help out. So we're talking decades, and he does it every single day. He helps out like with anything that happens. If there's flats that have burned down. If people are homeless, like they've been found without a home. People have been shot. Like if they need to start a new soccer team, like they need school uniforms, so they need food or whatever it is. A grant is always like finding those things for them. Those and so they obviously you can just get in contact with Grant if you want to help out and ask him what does he need maybe this week and what is he looking at or what is he like what currently like who needs some help out in the Westbury community and then we get into the mix, right? And the mix is just about a banger, man. It's a banger. And then recap again and throw forward to social mediums where you can go follow him, but ideally what you want to do is go and DM him directly and just go start a conversation. And just a very like a motivational quote for the week that always comes from Kanye. Just say to her, just please make it original, make it yours, and let's move on. Okay, so that's an idea of the show. I just want to show you what basic show print. That's a 4 hour show, man. 3 pages. Not ideally not my usual approach to how I prep shows, but the station manager was like, dude, like because you need to learn how to just prep in a shorter, like in a much shorter capacity, just to try out moderation in between. So I'm in that phase where I've got to actually prep at a much lower, I'm saying on a much lower scale and be able to talk a lot more freely, which I do, in terms of ownership and connection with the listener, etc., etc., etc. Remember, I am a new jock to this station, so you must obviously abide by the rules, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Um, okay, that is it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next